So you invested in a sales methodology and implemented it company-wide. You integrated it into your CRM and the sales aren't growing the way you thought they should. What's going on? I'm Mark Boundy. I wrote the best-selling book, Radical Value, after spending a lifetime researching consumer behavior, decision theory, behavioral economics, anthropology, psychology, consuming resource from the big shops like Gartner, CSO Insights. And I think I might have the answer for you. Here's what's going on. So here's the disconnect described really briefly into something that I call the mediocrity cycle. This mediocrity cycle has been built up on research in many disciplines over many years, and it's an endless cycle, but let me take you through it really quickly. Up here, your sellers answer the questions that they are asked, but don't go much beyond that. They meet, but don't exceed expectations. As a result, your customers don't really feel that they're a really great way of investing their time. CSO Insights found that sellers rank number 8 out of 9 possible information resources. As a result of the fact that your salespeople don't add value to the customer's buying process, the buyer will engage in their own buying process. They self-inform, they do their own research using one of the other 8 information sources that they like better, one of the 7 information sources they like better. To combine that into their own self-described, self-prescribed vision of the future. They self-diagnose and they describe their own solution, often underwhelmingly. They don't understand what differentiation is out there and what possible outcomes they could ask for. So they kind of take a least common denominator approach and develop a set of requirements or a vision for their future, and then they engage salespeople. Those salespeople have worked really hard to develop relationships where the customer knows, likes, and trusts them. They've installed a methodology so that they know that they need to ask all the people on that pre-configured buying team what each person is looking to accomplish, fix, or avoid. And so that methodology out of the box is a great tool for uncovering all of the complexity, such as it is, that the customer has developed on their own, unguided. So every competitor finds the same set of underwhelming needs, responds only to that same set of underwhelming needs, and provides a proposal that's not differentiated. Customers then say, I was right all along. Those salespeople aren't very impressive. I was right to self-inform. And the cycle continues. So that mediocrity cycle runs up against a challenge, and that is the way human beings consume, process information, and make buying decisions. We make decisions based on differentiation, the difference in price. So when you have a price premium versus the next best choice, that difference is what they think of, not the entire price, but when they're comparing and buying between those two options, they compare the price difference and they compare the value difference. And the value difference is the outcomes available when they buy from you versus that next best choice. So the whole value of everything you get, the customer's perceived set of outcomes that everybody offers, doesn't go in the pan. Only what you deliver differentially that you do that other people don't, that other competitors don't, that's what goes in the pan, and that's how they measure whether or not you've earned a price premium. So when everybody follows the same methodology and finds that there is no differentiation and the customer says, I got 3 bids on my desk, but it's the same proposal, there's nothing in this pan, which means all we can do is try to differentiate using a price premium. And so we're gonna throw you to the wolves, throw you to purchasing, find out which of these top competitors is most desperate to discount their way into the business this month. So how do we use this knowledge of value, pricing, and differentiation to break out of the mediocrity cycle? There's a couple ways you do it all around here. Let's start up here. Your sellers need to be so expert in your customer's business that they can have trusted advisor, valued consultant business conversations so that they can challenge your customers' preconceptions about their situation and become valued advisors and move themselves up that value that valued priority from number 8 out of 9 to something much, much higher by being a valued consultant that opens their eyes to new possible outcomes. Your content has to reinforce that as they're self-informing through that process so that those outcomes become part of the customer's vision of their own outcomes for themselves. And so rather than that simplified version of self-diagnosis, it's informed by something much more in-depth, courtesy of you and your content. This means that your sellers are able to sell differentiation. And sometimes that differentiation actually means, rather than talking to the existing standard buying team that the customer had configured on their own, sometimes your differentiation means adding 1 or 2 people to that buying team who recognize that different outcome and value it and are advocates in your behalf. As a result, your customer feels like they were well served and their needs were much better understood by you. And this cycle is a cycle of excellence, not a cycle of mediocrity. That's why I love laying value focus on top of the vanilla methodology that a lot of companies have implemented. Thanks, I appreciate it. If I can add anything to this, if you want to talk about it in greater depth, go ahead and reach out to me. Happy to talk, be another set of eyes on your situation. Thanks and have a great day.